to game number 2 here of TSM versus 9 Pandas. For anyone who maybe missed game 1, we'll fill you in quick. It was ended up being a pretty good outdraft from the side of 9 Pandas. They ended up just kind of rolling them over with the safe lane Alchemist. But into game number 2 we go. We'll see how they can maybe bounce back here on TSM as they grab the Medusa, something that not a lot of people really, I think, expect. Behind it, oh my gosh, Ramses is gonna run right into him. Oh, he does, and he's like, never mind.
Yeah, just backs off. I'm not going to be able to force too much as a solo Bloodseeker here. Side of 9 Panda should be able to snag top and River Rune up top, so it should end up even, maybe even extra if Kiyotaka works his way to the river. And TSM should be able to Delta split there.
This is such a value AA pick, this game. Like, not only is it into Alk Chen, but it's also into a Bloodseeker. Like, this is a hero that also does not like to get hit by Ice Blast, and the fact that it, like, is it the Shard? Well, yeah, the Shard just adds current level Cold Feet. It's actually so good.
Yeah, does a lot in just holding them down and softening them up. I'm curious if Whitemon can get his positioning right. He should be able to. There is still punish from the side of 9 Pandas. If they can always jump the AA, then it still is a squishy hero. I think in lane it can feel pretty good though with a right lane setup, and Whitemon will just head for the gate up top, so he's just going to be laning with Tomato. Yeah.
That ward is going to be super value, allowing them to actually see if anyone's going to take that portal into this top lane. And speaking of which, Antares and Roger just hiding in the trees currently with some blood grenades, waiting to try and draw that first blood. It's going to be Whitemon that reveals for the moment. I mean, can they grab Whitemon? They're definitely going to try the snake to bounce back and forth, but the slows from the concussive blast plus the grenade. Oh my goodness. And Antares grabs first blood.
Yeah, it's concussive, penitence, and the grenade. Like, it's a lot of slows. You can't run from that. First blood does go the way of Antares, which probably isn't the best hero to give it out to. At the same time, you don't mind. You're getting the gold. You're getting some aggression out. They do manage to just back off into their lanes here as well and just kind of work it out. Ramses, it is a little bit of a tougher time for him on the safe lane Bloodseeker. You do have good spacing here with the Primal Beast and with the Enchantress. You've got good right-click harass, early level impetus already up for Ahri. So you can just zone out Ramses, prevent him from trying to play with a Trist in the lane, which is going to be key. Like, you slow down this Bloodseeker's farm, it impacts a lot of his early timings, which you really do want to hit. Something like the Maelstrom to accelerate your farm. Very sensitive kind of timing for the Bloodseeker.
Something kind of interesting about the Medusa versus Bloodseeker is he's going to get almost zero thirst from this hero in lane. Because all the damage just goes into her mana shield, right? So you don't lose any HP, which means that you're getting zero thirst from this Medusa almost the entire lane stage. Unless she's, like, about to die, and then she just dies, you know? So it's actually kind of interesting how that's going to pair up. And, you know, bottom lane, Kasane gets a little bit aggressive there onto the Bloodseeker. Still has the Onslaught available. But, yeah, Ramses CSing fairly well here as Whitemon falls again in the top lane. Just, dude, Alchemist is just so strong right now. Pair that with any hero that can dump damage, and you got yourself a deadly combo.
You know what I really want to see, Ricky? I want to see Alchemist Venge. I think that's a lane combo that is just made for pain. Wave of Terror, Unstable Concoction, and Acid Spray. So much minus armor. A hero can just get nuked down. That was the old SMG lane that they used to love to run. So, again, I'm just so sad. We're not going to see that ourselves, but hopefully SMG does it down line. Still, in this game, even just a Skyrat Mage on hand is more than enough. You do raise some good points about the Dusa. Like, Dusa versus Bloodseeker is super awkward. Not only does he not gain the Thirst, like, even his Shard feels pretty useless, right? Max percent HP damage on a hero with no strength is, yeah, that's kind of a joke.
Tomato losing a lot of mana here. Does have 11 stick charges. Gets a good bounce there on the snake, though, so he'll be just fine. But yeah, I mean, you dump all this damage into the Medusa, it burns her mana, but it doesn't help the Bloodseeker lane. And that's one of the things that Bloodseeker, like, usually relies on a lot in the lane stages. He's like, well, I have a heavy harassment off lane duo. I'll get plenty of thirst to play around, be able to play aggressive on the enemy heroes. It makes it so he's going to probably not be able to find any kills in this lane, but I mean, he'll still farm decently well.
Still getting it enough out of the lane, not too far behind in comparison to Kasane. And not too far behind even in comparison to Tamadu, who's been given a lot of room now on that Dusa. So overall, a little bit more of an even start in terms of lanes coming out, despite the 2-kill lead for 9 Pandas. Does feel a little bit more playable. Your mid lane, though, is a lot better for Kiyotaka this time around. I mean, again, not too far ahead, but he's been able to dish the harassment onto Brawl consistently. Once you do reach that 5 into 6 for Brawl, though, that's when things get exciting. Again, we're not seeing as many rotations out onto the mid early on. So the impact of something like the Ancient Seal probably won't be felt. And if Brawl's allowed to reach 6 with no problems, he can definitely threaten.
Is the Skywrath Mage build still like 1-4-1? Like, or in this game, is it better that we might actually see him go for more points in the Ancient Seal early?
I still feel like Ancient Seal is pretty nice to go into, just because the duration increase is always big. You don't tend to see like early BKBs up. They are getting aggressive, but Ramses gets a nice little spot to hide and heal.
Yeah.
And just kind of stay in that lane.
Got themselves the Kobold Foreman. Dude, this here, I'm so glad this thing got nerfed. And it was like 24% movement speed or 21% movement speed or something. And they just nerfed the speed aura. Because Chen was just like grabbing these and running them behind the carries. And they just had perma haste. It was actually so nuts.
Yeah, it's way too much. So, one of the necessary nerfs with Chen in the meta and with the buffs up. Down mid though.
Avalanche taunts the rotation from the Skywrath Mage. He will swashbuckle under the tower. So he's going to survive for the moment, but Bryle is falling very low as he gets some raindrops delivered. Still has 7 stick charges. And nice fort, too. They're going to continue the aggression. Has to pop the stick, and Taras is not done playing around.
Forces Bryle all the way back, so you get a lot of free room here for Kiyotaka as the power rune spawns up as well, forcing TSM to drag both of their supports in to try and stop Kiyotaka from just snowballing out of control here.
He definitely... Ooh, Kiyotaka taking a lot of damage from Whitemon here as he just steals that Arcane Rune right from under him. And Bryle, he's got a swashbuckle in 2, looking for the Tiny. Jumps on in here. Do they get the chase? They don't. Nice avalanche there. Actually just clips Whitemon on the side, and he's going to have to be very careful, taking a lot of damage from the Skywrath Mage, and as Taras ends up securing the kill.
Yeah, this is pretty ridiculous from Antares here, Ricky. 3-0, all 3 kills on 9 Pandas being on the Skywrath Mage. Which, again, probably isn't ideal, but it feels great for a Sky. You know, you're able to get into your boots, you can sustain your mana with earlier Arcanes. You're going to feel pretty damn good for Antares and just dishing out that damage. And your side lanes are perfectly fine, kind of being left alone. Like, sure, you're not bullying out the Dusa, and Tomato is getting a lot more farm than you'd want him to, but Miero's not bullied out. He's able to farm up as well. He's got the Vanguard. Not going to be feeling that pressure down from the Dusa anytime soon, so you are allowed to play a more active Sky here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's going to be a huge benefit for the side of 9 Pandas. Like, just in general, Skywrath Mage has looked really strong in this patch. Just with what he can do with net worth. And actually bottom lane, they're getting really aggressive there onto Ramses. Just a single enchant there comes out. Slows him down enough. And Kasane helps find that first kill onto this Bloodseeker and gives him a decent amount of XP to play with as well. So we're going to see the level 6 from the Primal Beast come out here relatively soon.
That's going to be a major threat coming out from the side of TSM. They can just easily run down a lot of heroes right now on the side of 9 Pandas. They've got a lot more play again in comparison to Game 1. Their earlier spikes feel pretty strong here for the side of TSM to play aggressively up against 9 Pandas. And they're still pressuring mid. Like, they're just surrounding Kiyotaka, although...
I mean, they're going to chainstone down Bryle. The concoction does connect. He's got a Rolling Thunder. He's going to be forced to use it as a regen spawns. Bro, he doesn't grab it with his bottle. Oh, no. And now has to just retreat here in the mid lane underneath his tower as Miro will continue the chase. Gets hurricaned into the tower instead. They got the cold feet to slows. Can they actually turn this around? Looks like he's healing just a little bit too much, so it'll be fine. Ari takes a ton of damage, gets bursted instead by Kiyotaka. Beautifully played, and they've left the XP rune. And Tara's just going to take it from the enemy team.
Are you kidding?
That's
he got
huge.
both of them. He's going to hit 6, man. He's gonna have that damage for his team to play with. They don't have the best stun to combine that with, but just the threat of it, just the slows that can come out is probably more than enough to get a huge chunk of damage away on a lot of these cores. They're still focusing on mid here from the side of TSM, just again keeping all their supports here, still having free lanes in the side to play with anyway. I mean, you don't have as much to worry about for Tomato, who's still being allowed to farm up, has that Dragonlance up. Now, some more HP to play with. I'm still keen to see what the response from 9 Pandas will be, whether or not a diffusal's in the line for them on someone like, say, Ramses here, just to get some easier control. Although, Kasane.
Yeah, he tries to get aggressive bottom lane here onto the Bloodseeker. Brawl does clip him for the moment. There is no Rolling Thunder. Jumps on in, though, with the trample, and Kasane finds himself another kill. So that is a big one. I mean, you need this XP on the supports as well, as you didn't get the Wisdom Rune, so Ari just now hitting level 5, but Whitemon sitting mid here, level 3 on this Ancient Apparition.
Yeah, that's something that feels dreadful. And of all the heroes, it's the AA, which feels so pivotal this game.
Yeah.
And they rotate Kiyotaka in.
Yeah, Avalanche Toss into the Mystic Flare. I mean, that's the level 6 effect there, is they get that kill on to that Primal Beast. Is now Ryle has to just consider retreating. 3 more heroes still available here on the side of 9 Pandas, and mid lane there will be an Invis Rune, so he'll bottle that one up.
Start to get a little bit play going once that Rolling Thunder is off cooldown. Get a good rotation out. He is going for his Diffusal Blade. That's C10-2 on the Pangolier. That thing hasn't changed yet for the hero, so you're still going to have that good ramp up in the aggression. Again, this space that TSM is creating is pretty big. Look, Tomato's keeping up with the Alchemist farm. Miero's not that far ahead. And he isn't going for something like the Radiance as well. True.
But yeah, I was going to say, look at this build, man. He's got a Spirit Vessel queued up.
Yeah, I like it into the inch. I mean, it does kind of tie into how aggressive you kind of want to play on the Alch off lane. It can be active early on. I'm wondering if down the line he's actually just going to be like building Aghanims for a few of these heroes. Again, Tiny Ags feels nice here. The Ags on a Bloodseeker is honestly really just not that bad, because you just get a free barrier every time. And they'll try to shove him out at the least.
All right. Well, I am a little bit curious to see how this Medusa is going to play. I mean, Tomato's gotten a lot of space. He's got 4 points in this split shot, so 85% outgoing damage is quite good. But meanwhile, mid lane, they've caught the Pango. That's the blink reveal from the Tiny here, just at the 11-minute mark. And we talked about just these two heroes being able to run around the map together. It's going to be really dangerous.
There's a lot of instant burst potential coming out here from the side of 9 Pandas. You have to be a bit wary of that. Once they reach that point where they can just grab this Dusa, that's where things can feel a bit dangerous for Tomato despite all the space out. Like, you are highly durable. At the same time, once your mana's gone, I mean, you have 400 HP here right now with Dragonlance. Agi treads, though, so you can still get a little bit better, but not by a huge margin. And with all the attention 9 Pandas is drawing away, they're getting a little bit of room for Ramses. His full Maelstrom is flying out now, so the farming pace of our Bloodseeker can kick into gear. 9 Pandas, it's a little bit more passive in comparison to Game 1. Again, they've found some early kills, but more on the cores. The cores are kind of cemented in their lanes, whereas for TSM, they're working the jungle early. Tomato has some good stacks to clear out. Again, Split Shot is a hell lot better now, so you can actually clear out these early stacks much faster.
I mean, it's a 10% damage buff. That's pretty good. Mid lane.
Yeah, it's...
Ooh, he's trying. Thought about going for the Rolling Thunder there, but decided to hold it. They'll just pop the Fortification. Do they actually show up to defend this? You do have level 6 now on Whitemon if you want to try and go for an Ice Blast play, and the blink away, Kiyotaka pops a Haste Rune, the Ice Blast comes into the mid side. It does not connect onto anyone, and Bryle, he's just playing ping pong on the walls. Gets caught by a Rupture. Instead, Robger ran down here by Kasane in the Vessel Charge. Comes out, an Avalanche Toss into the Mystic Flare. They burn down 2 without any problem at all. A little bit of a misplay there from TSM, just not connecting on the heroes they wanted.
Yeah, and they still find the kills they'd want to here on the side of 9 Pandas. 2 core kills for a support. They get the mid tower. They get to pressure onto the triangle, which is a lot more important this game because you are up against Dusa. I think in every other game, the mid isn't as valuable because of the side camps, but Dusa is still a hero that enjoys this farming area just because of the stacks and how easy it is to just maintain those stacks there as well. So 9 Pandas, a nice set of kills. They get themselves a strong start, strong opening here, 3k up. And it's not all just on the Alk either. Like the distribution with Kiyotaka and Ramses is still pretty good, although still no answers for Tomato. Still not finding that Dusa. Maybe they don't care about it too much. That could be a mistake going forward if the Dusa's just allowed to farm into the Manta, farm into her damage items, into her stat items with a Scotty coming out. That here does get scary if you don't bully it in a weaker laning phase.
Roger is getting to work here on some ancient creeps, but they're attacking back with a vengeance. Meanwhile, a smoke will find him once again here on the Primal Beast. Does manage to survive for the moment. Is Tomato's going to go ahead, pump that Stone Gaze, try and chase after this. I mean, the Tiny, he's got a shield rune, dude. This hero's not dying at all. And there's an Avalanche toss. This time finds the Ancient Apparition, survives, but no. Antares does manage to find the kill. Kiyotaka gets caught by that enchant as Kasane comes in, and they will find the kill instead. A turnaround will net them quite a bit.
It's a good trade coming out. Getting that kill as well onto Tomato is huge. And they should know that it's not the safest spot to rotate on. 9 Pandas should be able to kind of clear out. They've already got the sentry down. They just need some vision onto the high ground. Kind of clear out the side of TSM. I mean, this is solid for Tomato. Manta timing's going to be on point.
Top lane, Bryle. It actually just shows the stun icon on him. That's pretty good. Yeah, I'm really curious, like, how this Medusa is going to play. Like, with the game naturally favoring illusion and split pushing type heroes that can farm multiple camps, the Manta is obviously one of those very good items for the Medusa because you can basically double your farm per second. Another kill here. I mean, we knew this ward was here. We just saw them make this exact same play, but I guess TSM just maybe some miscommunications there as Bryle just gets picked in the exact same spot. And now Antares, he's like, all right, I'll deny my own ward.
Yeah, it just takes it out before they can get any D ward going. They are lining up for Ramses at least. He doesn't have his full BKB up yet, but they're not going to be in position to really jump him. A little bit too far out on Kasane. And a little bit stronger coming out. Like Tomato now with the Manta, as you mentioned, can clear out camps, can clear out multiple parts of the map really well. But look at the position of 9 Pandas. Roger, he's got the army ready for the Roche.
Oh my gosh, he does.
It's just the two supports as well.
Okay, it's going to be a little bit slower, but they'll get it eventually now with the Alchemist coming in. I mean, this is really smart. I'm curious if they... I mean, they had the Kobold scouting the teleporter. So maybe TSM will figure it out, but it doesn't look like it. Well, they rotate top here on... They know. The question is, will they make it in time? They're pinging. It looks like they're just a little bit too far. Yeah, Whitemon would need to throw that Ice Blast, but it's not going to come through in time. Roche will fall, ends up going the way of 9 Pandas. They'll be very happy about that one.
Yeah. Secondary life on Kiyotaka. It's a little bit interesting. You think about how many kills have gone to Antares. He's got 7 of the 11 kills. He's going for a straight up Heaven's Halberd for the team. So that's one solution for the Medusa, I suppose.
I guess that works.
More strength. They're a little bit tankier on that Sky. Down the line, perhaps he gets the shard, although I don't think he's bottom that word. He is not, so it's more than likely going to Roger, unless he drops his items. Or RNG favors him among the two. Yeah, could be the chosen one.
So I'm a little bit curious, like, what their plan is here. They just got the Diffusal here on the Pango. He's going for, like, maybe a deep wraparound. And in comes the Pango. Rolling Thunder. Does manage to catch Kiyotaka as well as Antares. Ice Blast will kill the stun up the Tiny. And they do manage to find... Well, do they actually get the Scarab? He just jukes him out. It's simple. He just runs away. He's actually just so damn fast with this aura. And now, Rupture's caught the Pango. He's trapped up. Nero finishing him off. Kasane drops to Ramses. They get absolutely nothing on the side of TSM.
And they find the Aegis Life, but it doesn't count for much. They just wanted to play aggressive on 9 Pandas, and they get it. Antares, that would have been a massive kill with with his streak he has, 7-0. And he can't even find a Sky. And that was before his Sanj came out for the extra durability and stat resist. So now that's a little bit tougher as well. It feels like they need to toss everything to kill off the Skyrat Mage.
He just has 430 MS passively.
Always
This creep is nuts, dude.
Yeah. 474 with the drums on top. It's too speedy to pin down. And again, the one bright side for TSM is Tomato is farming. But we saw this last game as well, where he was just farming in that Terrorblade. Granted, it's a lot faster now. He's #1 in that worth. He is reaching that critical mass point where you will have the stats to back up the Dusa now, having more strength to play with. So at the least, it kind of helps out there. The one thing as well, I think that I wanted to mention in lane is because Barrier reduces damage before armor, right? So if you're in negative armor, it's actually not bad, right? Like you actually gain something when you're in negative armor. You just block before reductions. You're not losing more mana than you should be.
Yeah, that is the one thing that makes Medusa kind of interesting is if someone's playing like a strat that is all about, ooh, yeah, that is another pickoff. I mean, how long before you can get an Aeon disc? But like your Pango is sitting at 6,600 net worth at 20 minutes. He's sitting on Diffusal only. Like that. This is like an item you hope to get around the 13, 14 minute mark on this hero.
Yeah, it's just kind of stalled out. It'll get
Ramses.
started to...
Ooh, you can't solo this at all. Sorry, but
Ramses?
you are going to take a lot of damage here.
Right?
They're all taking... Roger almost dies. Ramsey's like, dude, get me out of here. And Tara's looking for it. He dies. Roger! The whole team's just like, all right, something's wrong here, guys. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I love Dota. I love these things, dude. These are so cool.
He doesn't even get the shard. At least it's one
it's
death
just
on the
back
streak.
to full HP.
Yeah, at the least the one death he has with the streak is 2 to Tormentor, so he doesn't lose the streak yet. They get the shard up and going for Whitemon, which is massive as well. Got a little bit more play here.
Oh my goodness, Kasane again goes down. So Chen gets his free shard, so can now take Ancient Creeps, which is pretty good. Oh man.
Yeah. And you also get the levels, right? Like the additional level now on some abilities of the creeps, so more impact from this Alpha Wolf, higher critical strike,
it is
50%.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's pretty nice for Roger to have. So, I'm wondering if they were also pinging out Roger to use Hand of God. Just to have them live. He doesn't. He's a stone cold killer. It's like, no, kill that thing. Kill it now.
You signed. This was your own doing, sir. You decided to go for this before we were here. I mean, the other thing too that was a nice nerf to like these summons on the Tormentors is the fact that the summon creeps like don't split damage anymore. Like the damage just is split between heroes only. Did you manage to find Antares here? And that's the streak.
Ooh.
Finally captured. It ends up going the way of the Enchantress, but I mean, she can definitely transition to a core. I mean, she's almost the same net worth as her mid and her off lane at this point. That being said, Chen has passed them both.
Oh, Ramses?
Did they get Ramses? He's going to go for the TP. Ice Blast off the mark. Not going to connect yet.
They forced out the BKBs though, and they reveal the Scotty on Tomato. So you now have a Dusa issue. She is exceptionally durable. We still have not seen any solution towards that Dusa, except a couple of Heaven's Halberds coming out. So this is where Tomato can start playing. Sure, they're 8k behind, but this is a hyper-farmed Medusa, way above even Miero on the Alchemist.
8k behind, but you've got a Dusa. Mid lane, Kasane caught once again. Pop Pig mode, tries to escape, but unable to. As Antares makes quick work of him. Rolling Thunder here from Bryle. The Rupture, it's not going to kill him. Gets the TP out. He has to... Wait, where the heck did he... He TP'd bottom. Wait, what?
They see him if they want.
They know.
To
they're like,
down.
guys, Bryle's over here. Maybe he grabs the Wisdom Rune, refills the bottle, and lives. We'll see, but Bloodseeker... He's hunting, dude. He wants this kill so bad. Swashbuckle's down instead. There are 4 petals in this. He's just going to hide in the trees, I guess. He's just going to hide in the trees. Come on, bro. Grab the lotuses. There's 4 there. That's a good heal. He's not going to find it. All right.
Running off. Oh,
dude, this is scary. He actually just like can't go anywhere right now. Oh, there you go. There's the lotuses.
He has 1 great, so a little bit of burst healing on hand. The side of 9 Pandas don't really manage to find him, but again, he's pinned down for at least half a minute. So if he... Antares?
Dude, imagine. Antares just finds him right here. Oh my god, so close. They know. They actually saw the shield crash for the moment. Bryle?
There you go.
Oh, gets caught. Mystic Flare a little bit off the mark, but in comes Tomato. They want to grab this Craft Major once again. Gets the disarm, and the Swashbuckle from Bryle will find the kills. So, he will TP back to base now after a few minutes of sitting in the trees.
That's a pretty big kill. Again, Antares is worth a little bit too much on the Sky Raft Mage. Good amount of gold coming out here for the side of TSM, and Tomato finally, again, with this activity he's starting to take for the team, it doesn't feel like 9 Pandas have itemized at all to care for the Medusa. Not a single defusal, nothing like that being queued up for Ramses. Just
got 2
halberds.
Yeah, that's it. Man, yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I mean, your only real defusal builder that I would think of this game would probably be the Alk because of just the base attack time. But yeah, it just doesn't even feel good because Medusa can just kite you around, right?
Yeah, just kind of get thrown around. TSM, they're starting to feel themselves. They go for a smoke. 9 Pandas smoking up as well. Interesting smoke.
If you get the initiation, Kasane finally has BKB. We'll see what happens. Tomato just gonna just body up onto Rams. He's trying to force an early BKB potentially, but they'll find Miro here on the side. Does not connect onto the self-stun, surviving a lot of this damage. Instead, they just burst Bryle as Kiyotaka comes in. The Rupture onto Kasane will do a lot of work here, but there is the Medusa up on the high ground, trying to protect him for the moment. Ice Blast still being held. The Chen army is there. The Avalanche toss catching both of the supports. The Enchantress does manage to get stunned up on the backside. She will fall, but they're looking for Kiyotaka on this Tiny. Will he be able to get away? They able to survive on Kasane as well. He gets himself the shield rune, but he's just getting burned down as Miro will be able to continue with the chase. The Spirit Vessel burning him down as well. As another vessel comes through and Kiyotaka now joining the fight. They managed to get 3. They still can't find kills on TSM. They really just do not have the catch.
It's just difficult to line up for that Ice Blast that you need to connect here from TSM. Good roll can come in, but Bryle just gets picked off early in that fight before he can get anything done. Needs more protection, and the Pangolier is going for the Lincolns. That is going to help the cause, especially against that single target stun here.
He has 3 skeletons. Look, Roger's like, yeah, I got 3 Dark Troll summoners. I'm just going to summon the boys and send them across the map. He's actually going to recall everything. Okay. Just to have some fun, I guess. But, yeah, this is so much, like, aura damage for your team.
It's way too much.
Kiyotaka looking for an opening. They do get the TPs out here. It will be able to scout them. They're just ignoring the Medusa, going for the backline. They get the Ancient Apparition. Pangolier just getting crushed. The break damage out from Tomato as he's holding that Stone Gaze for the moment, trying to finish off this Alk, but he just can't do it. Double buyback coming through. Where's the Ice Blast? They need that to find these kills. They're turning their attention onto Ramses. He's still got that BKB available. The jump in, Kasane will be able to force it as Ramses will survive, and Tara is now beat down as Bryle comes in with the Rolling Thunder looking for his opening, but will he find anyone? Miro stunning up on the backside as he couldn't find that hero to toss that concoction onto. To swashbuckle on in, Bryle does get his eyes on top of this Bloodseeker. We'll try to beat him down as in comes Kasane, catches him for the moment. The Ice Blast gets caught, but Ramsey's able to heal through a lot of it. He actually doesn't get caught. The Ice Blast missed. Ramses does end up dying to Tomato finally, but he gets 2 kills right before he goes down, and now Kiyotaka comes in, trying to burst down this Enchantress, but Tomato is strong, baby. Spirit Vessel is there. He will TP home instead. the plan is ignore the Medusa, but how much longer can they get away with this? He's looking for Roger now on this Chen. He's got a lot of damage. Just going to try and clean up the creeps here potentially, as that will do quite well. All right, eliminating 2 of the trolls. Not bad. But Roshan is up. It's top.
Yeah, they've got to make their way there. It's top for at least 1 more minute. It's going to switch out sooner rather than later. Tomato is just a massive issue. Like, his illusions are way too tanky. I think that's the bigger thing that makes the Deuce more annoying. Not really the main hero, just the fact that her illusions with a mana shield is... it's too much. They'll try to force a Roche with a minute left. I suppose if they can clear it fast enough, you don't have to worry about any shenanigans here, but it doesn't feel like they clear it fast enough.
Did they change it so that, like, Dagon still one-shots illusions, right? That part didn't change on Dagon?
Yeah.
Okay.
It should still do that.
Like Dagon, Scythe, and stuff like that, I'll still pop the illusion.
Yeah, except no one's really queuing it up right now in 9 Pandas. We don't have that instant answer just yet, and they will be able to clear the Roche in a minute. More than enough.
This is really big. This will give them the Watchers. They get an Aegis for them, Dusa. The cheese will be taken by Ari, so a lot to work with. Do they still have those greater healers? No, they don't. Okay.
I'm wondering it now. 9 Pandas. Their biggest problem's really just Tomato. Like, this Dusa is just way too much up front. The self-sustain she has with Mystic Snake is way too high as well. And this is her without her usual shard Ags buildup as well. It doesn't even feel necessary for Tomato to have to work into that. 9 Pandas, still nothing like a diffusal up. They're just, again, trying to ignore as much as they can, but I don't think you can anymore. Not at the point where Tomato has 2.23k gold overall, net worth overall in comparison to everyone else. Like a good solid 4k lead, 6k lead actually, on top of pretty much every other hero. Even Miero, who has slowed down on the Alchemist. So, your strat of just ignoring Dusa, it's not gonna work. Even sieging high ground, that's not something you can even do, as the Deuce is just a great turret.
Tormentor is up. Ari, like, nearly just died instantly when Tomato crit it. And they will give the shard on over to the Pango, so manages to get himself the roll-up. Bottom lane, they could respond to prevent the other one from falling. They do have the Watcher, thanks to the Roshan, so they know it's still up. So double shard actually is pretty good. Is there anyone that's missing theirs? I mean, okay, almost all of them are still missing. So either going to go the way of Ari or Kasane here.
That's big on either side. Do feel like you might be better off with Kasane, and they do get that. So they've got a little bit more control from the back line. Just much more to play with. It is. It's pretty damn good. Just, again, more control, which they are kind of lacking on the side of TSM. The side of 9 Pandas now. I mean, again, their farm distribution with their course is still solid. Their only problem is Tomato. Like, they're still a solid 6k ahead of the other cores on the side of TSM. I mean, TSM, you're Kasane and Brawler are still tied in with Ari's farm on the Ench. So it's still not smooth going there. But as long as Tomato lives, man, you don't really care.
Gold injection for Kiyotaka as he's got Tree Volley now thanks to the Alchemist. So first Aghanim Scepter has been granted, and Tree Volley is a heck of a good ability, dude. That thing is a lot of damage. So we'll see if he just scales with that now. Probably, yeah, he's got the Silver Edge, so he does have crit available off Tree Volley already. We might see him itemized for something more. Ends up just queuing up the Octarine first. As bottom lane, they're looking to clean up some of these Chen creeps, and they will be able to do that. They've got a catapult available, and this, I mean, this is going to force 9 Pandas back. They cannot allow this Medusa to just sit on the high ground. As they're going to go invis here on the Tiny, look for an avalanche to toss back the stun as well. They've got him. Medusa's first life. I mean, that's a quick one. The question is, can they get her out of here? She has the Stone Gaze if she wants, pops the Manta style. Stone Gaze does come through, and she's going to give herself a little bit of space to survive. But that Aegis is spent. And Kiyotaka just destroyed Whitemon in the trees. Okay, very nice.
Yeah, and that's pretty big. I mean, you know, you take out Aegis, you take out the threat of a follow-up fight with the Ancient Apparition being gone, so you don't have to worry about the healing reduction for a little bit. You can kind of try to force things out here, as Kiyotaka is still hunting.
Oh, he's trying to find this Primal Beast. He just instantly BKBs. Onslaught's away, does not want to risk it. Kiyotaka is so scary. He's got a blink and a tree volley. He could try and look for the kill, which I think that's exactly what he's going to try and do. Does he get the crit? He does! Oh my goodness.
Ooh.
Yeah, this hero does damage now.
That does.
Other side of the map, Pangolier catches a Rupture and tries to TP. Won't be able to do it in time.
Too much output from Ramses now with Rupture maxed out. So now they've got an opening for the high ground. Tamato,
Yeah, 2 heroes dead.
no Stone Gaze for a few more seconds here. Does have the BKB on that Dusa to be a bit of a threat, but does feel like they've got some solution to the output on
They're looking for the Avalanche and the toss back. Oh, he gets the Pike just barely. That would have been devastating. But they hold for now. Without that opening, it looks like 9Pen is maybe a little bit too afraid to push into this Medusa.
It's just way too durable. And when you can melt through the mana, it doesn't feel that way. And as we've seen, if they can isolate Tamato in these fights, then the Dusa still melts. You know, mana's gone, a couple of hits, you're still dead, even at 2k HP, which is so weird to say. That's a decent amount, but at 35 minutes in, it's just not quite. And he's smoke up now as well on the side of TSM. Try to find something off the back of this retreat. Miaro's pretty up front here.
I mean, Chemical Rage still has half the duration, but yeah, he's going to see the smoke pop and instantly blink away, so he's going to be safe.
Retreats in the nick of time. What items are we looking at here? Abyssal for Ramses, not too far off. And still the Octarine for Kiyotaka, which I don't mind. Lower cooldowns are always good, especially on Tiny, which you kind of want 3 volley to be up as much as possible. And there
Absolutely.
it is. So the bombardment can now begin. 12.8 seconds, 13-second cooldown. Way more uptime. The side of TSM, they've got the control. For TSM, it's now just trying to play forward with Tamato while protecting him enough. Just a little bit of a misstep up on the high ground down bot was enough to give that opportunities for the 9 Pandas to kind of take momentum back their way and get that build up. So this is where the game's interesting, right? You're past 36 minutes. It's down to just who jumps who, how to pick off shape up. You've got a lot of map space to still farm in for both sides despite dropping towers.
I know he's going to show in the mid lane here. The question is, can Tiny make it in time? He's the one who has to find the opening. And, oh, Force Staff away. Avalanche toss back. They've done it. He gets the BKB off. Still has the Stone Gaze, but he's out of mana. He needs to retreat now. And retreat he does as he makes his way all the way back to the fountain.
Just for the reset. The big thing here for 9 Pandas is they force out the BKB, Stone Gaze, and they didn't really commit too much on 9 Pandas. Like, they still have their own BKBs up. They still have a Rupture ready to go. They didn't make that many sacrifices. So if they find another opening on Tamato, and this is where that Deuce is going to be a bit vulnerable without the threat of the Stone Gaze to drag these heroes away. Could be a second duck up front. They'll smoke up here, though.
Tier 4 items coming as well. Some big ones. Double Spell Prism right now for the side of 9 Pandas is... Sonic goes in, looks for an opening, takes a huge chunk of damage there from the Rupture right away, but this gives Bryle an opening. So looking for the Alchemist, they have the Dust with the Force Staff trying to get him to safety. The heals from Roger are doing work. The Ice Blast coming through, doesn't really connect on anyone again. They managed to hold the Medusa back for the moment as Bryle is in deep silenced up, and he's going to get brought down. They just don't have the stuns. They can't find an opening for this Ice Blast.
It's difficult. Their control is just not there. Your supports don't have that much to give with. Tamato?
Oh, Kiyotaka, he's going to find the Primal Beast. Kasane pops the BKB, gets Glimmercade up, trying to run away as Miro throws the stun. It's not going to be enough to finish him off. But the jump in from Kiyotaka,
What?
no way! He snipes him! And he just BKB TP's home. Instead, on the front side, they find the Alchemist. He gets something, but a huge play there from this Tiny. I don't know what canceled the Onslaught.
He managed to clip him. It's still not as worthwhile. Like, you do get a lot more from just killing off Miro. Again, a consequence of how the kills are calculated now with net worth. So you're still happier here on the side of TSM. You don't lose out on Tomato. Your Medusa's positioning is still on point. They haven't been able to find Tomato up front too often now on the side of 9 Pandas, although it still has been a little bit scary for Tomato. If they could be sneaky here and find more pickoffs, that could be big.
Oh, they got him at the scan. They know something's going on here. They're up on the high ground. They will see Antares. As the ward just barely clipped him. So Halberd buying him a little bit of time here, but they will find the kill on Kiyotaka. Sitting under the cover of the Shadow Walk, does not want to reveal himself.
Way too risky. Way too risky to kind of put yourself in that position. They still had the TP point in the outpost there as well. You could just easily back up. And
Already has the gem now. They're looking for Kiyotaka mid. The Rupture does come out, hits Kasane. Bryle being very careful into the Onslaught. They've got the damage in from the Pango as well, but with the Rupture, Ramsey's just chewing right through him. Bryle has the TP on home. The Lincolns will protect him. But dude, the damage from that volley.
Oh, it's ridiculous. He has way too much output right now in Kiyotaka. And he is the solution to that Dusa even down the line, when he can just kind of channel in and follow up from the control of his team. Let's see, it's still it's so weird to say it's an even game of 31-10, but it is just by nature of the Dusa right now. You're right through that rough early phase of the game, get your farm going, and you are still a beast in the late game. Although Kiyotaka,
I mean, he's just trying to do what damage he can to the Medusa, and it's a lot. Burns half of that mana pool very quickly. And she grabs a Penta Edge Sword? Was that a misclick?
and I wish we could see what else was available. Because maybe it's just down to the fact that you don't have that much.
At 25, split shot modifiers is pretty good with that, but do you really take that over the mana shield damage?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe you have to this game. You just don't have damage, I guess, without it.
Yeah, like at this point, it does feel like you're kind of durable enough. Like even the full volley, only down to half, maybe less than half mana being taken away, is already a sign enough that you could probably get away with that. Roche does begin, though, for the side of 9 Pandas. They've got control down bot, and that does have the free Ag's Blessing now. I wonder who they hand it off to.
Daytime gives Ags, right? Very nice. Ice Blast comes through. It manages to stun them up, but won't be enough to actually finish off the Roshan, and with the Ag's Blessing, they are going to be very... Oh my gosh, Kasane just jumps on in. They're taking the portal to the bottom side of the map. They have the damage to find Miro. He just blinks away. And instead, you've lost the Primal Beast. In comes the Medusa, and she's just going to get disarmed instead. But Ramses is on the run here from this Enchantress. Prowl comes in as well. They managed to get the kill, but now you might need to run. You spent everything on the Medusa. The Pike's going to try and buy her a little bit of space, but it's 4v1 here. Can he survive? It doesn't look like it, man. They've got him 100 seconds as Kiyotaka just murders the Medusa, as they've caught Ari as well. Bryle will TP on home, but a massive win for the side of 9 Pandas. No Medusa means high ground is a possibility.
That's a very open possibility for the side of 9 Pandas. And as soon as they see that Tomato doesn't have enough to commit for the buyback, it gets scary. He bought out the Swift Blink recipe, along with a Blink Dagger. That's why he doesn't have the gold.
He's 1,000 away. Oh my goodness.
He bought out?
Yeah, that is rough. Yeah, buying out for that is gonna... That's a rough one.
I'm curious what they do with the Ags here on the side of 9 Pandas, and Antares is still holding on to it. He's not passing it to anyone yet, but he's not using it.
I mean, you give it to Alk probably, but that would be only if he's given a bunch of Aghanim Scepters, so I don't know. Whitemon barely surviving there, the burst damage, but Brow just gets ruptured up, pops the roll up. He can't TP. He doesn't have it. Instead, he's dead without buyback as well. So that is going to be a lane of barracks here in the bottom, potentially mid as well, as they will pop the fortification. Miro just trying to zone them out as they can try to clean this up. I mean, Ags, I mean, wouldn't you just give it to the Skywrath at this point? Just let him have it?
Exactly. It's pretty good, but he's not. Maybe he kind of want to give it to Ramses for the overheal, but it doesn't feel like you're finding too many overheal opportunities with the AA on hand anyway, and a Scotty.
That's Vegas, baby. Tiny
Just
making
like
quick work of your buildings, and 34,000 gold advantage. Making it that much worse. This could just be all it takes for them to close out this game. They managed to get an opening here onto Kiyotaka, but he's still got that BKB available. They need to connect with an Ice Blast to actually find some of these kills. He just turns around. The Ice Blast does not connect again. Tiny's fine. Instead, Primal Beast just getting bursted on down. The Mystic player finds the Ancient Apparition, 2 dead on the side of TSM. He's going to buy back for now, but the Medusa pops the BKB, gets ruptured. She's trying to run back to the base, but I don't know if she's going to make it, man. The damage is too much. A huge tree volley once again from Kiyotaka, and they've done it. They've closed out the game, grabbing themselves the first 2-0 of the tournament. Well played from 9 Pandas.
Yeah, what a game coming out from them. Very consistent. Game 1 looking a lot stronger. Game 2, TSM. I mean, they found some